Hey y'all, hey, it's JJ Conway. I've got a special guest for you today. We are going to be talking to Ken Krell. He is the founder and chief amazement officer of, I just made that up, of Amazing
I love
Digital.
it.
He
I
has
love
helped
it.
businesses build over 40 million in sales platforms and helped people change their lives through those platforms. And now he is going to show you how to do it for yourself. Now, as you see at the bottom of my screen, I've already got the link up because we're short on time and I don't want to waste anybody's time today. I want you to get all the juicy benefits of what Ken is offering our audience for, get this, no charge. All right. But you're going to want to stick with him because he knows how to produce these amazing, amazing digital events. All right. Ken, welcome to Building Wealth Together. I'm so excited that you're here with us today.
You keep going. You're doing great. I'm having such a good time.
Well, let me tell you, just from one professional to another, one of the reasons that I really love your events is it is no holds barred. You come out with all the tools, the tricks, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And as somebody who's trying to learn and take my business to the next level, I truly, truly appreciate that you do that for us and that you keep everything in a reasonable time frame, reasonable price points, and you bring in likable experts that can give us a confidence level that we can succeed. So let me ask you, let's just dig right into it. Tell me, what are some of the things, that we need to know about producing amazing digital events?
Well, the first thing is to take incredible testimonials like that and put them on your webpage. So, so
And
that
you
was
will do
really
this recording.
that was like the best ever. I'm taking this clip. We're using it. And that, by the way, is a strategy that I teach. It's like when you give someone a testimonial, give a really good one that they can't resist using it on their website because their name's attached to it. So that was just, I mean, I couldn't even have written that as well as you did. So thank you so much, JJ. Let's talk about events. And I think the place we need to start is really the big why. Why on earth do we want to even consider that, particularly if you're a person that is a wallflower, that is potentially, what's the word, introverted. All right. The beautiful thing about doing digital events, which is what I specialize in now, I mean, I've been on physical stages over 40 years and have sold multiple millions of dollars of, I don't know if it's 40 or whatever, that sounded like a good number when you added it in there. But it's probably more. Who the hell knows? I mean, 40 years is a long time to be on stages, but I've been physical and digital. And I can tell you the beautiful thing about digital allows you to be everywhere. So you're in the state of rural Texas. That's different than just regular Texas. We talked about that. Different passport altogether. And I got to look on the map. I was like, oh yes, Stephenville, Texas. Got it. By the way, that's the next new hotspot, guys. So, property investment, Stephenville. But the thing is, I'm in Sydney, Australia, and this coming summer, your summer, because right now it's our summer down here. I'll probably be in the Nordic countries with my mom. We'll be traveling and playing, and we can still do business and we can still run events from that kind of a stage. So the big question for everyone here is, why would you do an event? And I'll give it to you in a couple of different avenues. Number one, change lives. Number two, get your message out. That'll change lives. Number three, make a lot of money so you can change lives of your family, of yourself, of the world. Because, when we talk about prosperity and wealth, and a lot of these new agers and spiritual folks talk about, well, being spiritual means I got to be broke. That is BS, which stands for bad story that we tell ourselves. Okay. See that? I told you I keep it G-rated today, right? So, but call it what it is. I mean, because the more wealth you have, the more you can help other people. When you get on an airplane, they talked about putting, the oxygen masks come down, you put it on yourself first so you can off some other people. You can't help anybody if you're dead, and you can have no influence on anybody else if you're freaking broke. You can't talk about prosperity if you're broke. So we have a responsibility to generate wealth. And if we come from this standpoint of wealth being in abundance, then there's plenty for everybody. And the more you build yourself up, the more you can bring others up with you, right? A rising tide raises all ships. So I look at events as being a great way of going from one to many. If we're going to go fish, for example, I prefer to fish with a net than with a rod and reel because I'll catch more fish. So events allow you to really go from one to many. And the many, by the way, can be 10 people. I kind of shifted, and this is maybe new for you from me, is I've talked about bigger events for a long, long time, but now I'm shifting my approach to people because some of them are intimidated by having a room of 100 or 300 or 1,000 people. I'm saying start with 10 people, because in that room of 10 people, you're probably gonna get 30 to 40% of them, or probably more, that say, yes, I want what you've got. They're raising their hand and they're pulling out their credit card. So because your impact is so together, so you can still make a lot of money with a small audience, and the small audience gives you a level of intimacy and connection that's unparalleled. So I love events for that. Also, if you're going to be doing any kind of a coaching or mastermind program, or any kind of a program that is a group oriented program, which by the way is how you can scale any kind of an influence business, a coaching business or whatever. Oh, hi, get the whole screen. How lovely. Hi, everybody. If you're going to do that, the beautiful thing about an event is that you can also indoctrinate people into your culture. And that's the beautiful thing, because when you are running an event, the people are in there. So, for example, during our Pride event, and Pride, by the way, stands for Produce Ridiculously Irresistible Digital Events That Generate Wealth. And I think that we probably lost JJ because she's had some lousy internet today. So it's maybe me for a little bit. So we'll just dance together. And by the way, that leads me to a comment. Are you there, JJ, or am I?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you are
just
there.
wanted to
Okay,
focus
I
here.
wasn't sure. We were dancing for you, and for you that weren't here. We've been dancing around and going from Zoom to StreamYard and this and that. And I was like, well, maybe it's that that rural
It's that
Texas.
ice storm.
Yeah,
That
there
ice
we go.
storm.
But the point I was going to make, assuming that I might have been going solo for a while, is that when you're doing any kind of an event, physical or digital, okay, caca is going to happen. That's another technical term, by the way. All right. So it's stuff's going to happen, and you're going to lose something. You're going to lose sound or internet, or your mic's going to go off or whatever. And by the way, during my events, I guarantee something's going to go wrong, because inevitably, whether I guarantee it or not, something is. But there'll be times when my mic goes off because the battery runs out. Now, any professional will change batteries regularly, but I don't, because I'm an environmentalist and I don't like half used batteries going to recycle. I don't have a 12-year-old kid that can put it into his game or her Game Boy. So I run them all out. And when it runs out, I show people in the audience for a couple seconds, and they laugh because and then I just simply change the batteries, because guess what? The batteries are right there within my hands. If I was going to run an event where I wasn't teaching that, I would have shifted my batteries and changed them out, because that's what a professional does. But I'm teaching this stuff, right? And the wonderful thing is, I don't think you were at this particular Pride event, but on the morning of day 3, it's a 3-day event. On the morning of day 3, my computer crashed for whatever reason. Battery power, couldn't hold a charge, couldn't even the power wouldn't even connect. It was a rock. And I got a program we're talking about a 6-figure weekend now turning into crap. What do? I ran that morning event with my iPhone, on my iPhone. So you can broadcast with anything. And the wonderful thing about I should say it this way. The wonderful thing about things crashing is that people are watching you. And if you're out there dancing and having fun, and when stuff like that happens, you don't break a sweat, then the audience looks at you as someone they can respect, and you're a leader. If you're like, oh my God, they're like, okay, yeah, this one's a loser. This one is an amateur. It is flustered by stuff. We have to hold it together. Now, after it's over, you can go, oh my God. But while it's happening, you're just cool as a cucumber. And that's a really important component. Yeah. Well, I just laughed, frankly, when it happened, because it was like, there's nothing I could do about it. The computer was dead, 37% battery when I woke up that morning. It's like, how does this happen? And all you can do is celebrate. Well, this will make it interesting today. And the thing to remember, though, which I think is so important, which is why we have so much fun together, JJ, is because I remember that the audience wants to be there. And I want you to, if you're going to do an event, remember that when people enroll in your event, they're voting, not just with their money, but they're voting with their time, which is more valuable than that. So if they're saying, yes, I want to be with you, that's the biggest compliment of all. And it means to you that you have a friendly audience that loves you and will support you and will cheer you on, even if stuff weird happens. So you don't need to be intimidated by, oh my God, I have this audience. Yeah, you have a bunch of people that are your fan club that love you. Mm-hmm. And that has got to be, if you want to be held, and if you're in any kind of a group or orientation, okay, group orientation, I'm thinking about just being held in and being cradled. And I've been in sessions where I've been cradled by people, and it's the most amazing feeling of having that love hold you. Well, that's what an audience that wants to be there is doing for you energetically. So I don't know why I got into the things going wrong. Oh yeah, because we're worried about actually you're holding your internet, which I think I
Right.
predict is fine. But know that it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fine. And even if your internet drops, they'll come back because if you're being interesting, they'll come back. When I talk about ridiculously irresistible digital events, the ridiculously irresistible is you, because people want to hear from you. So the key is to being authentic, being that great. You're not trying to be an entertainer, because that's not going to get people to move. We want people to make a move in their lives. We typically want people to make a positive shift and a positive change, and to, in a lot of ways, get out of their own way so they can have more fun. Now, I'm getting real serious right now as I start laughing. But as we do that, I mean, this is super serious because we're looking at changing lives, changing beliefs about about themselves. I was with someone yesterday who absolutely did not believe that this person, I'm going to use the male pronoun because it may or may not have been a male. You never know. Most of my audience, by the way, about 80% are women. For whatever reason, I don't target anyone specifically by any. There is no age, sex, religious belief, whatever. As long as you don't club dolphins and kill things, I'm a happy guy, right? It's just like, as long as you are an abundant oriented person and you're fun, I love you. Come on in. Anyway, there was a point to this, and I've completely forgotten what the hell it is, which leads me to another point. It is okay. It is completely okay to lose your place, because the audience is going to laugh with you. I know what I was going to say is we go serious because this is serious stuff. But then again, I want them to have fun. So I will let my cheekiness come out, and you've seen a bit of the irreverence already so far. But at the same time, it's like having a rubber band. Let them out, snap it back, because people want that leadership. They want your leadership, which is why I think events are so critical. That's the big thing. Let me ask you this: what was because JJ, you're like this massive fan, and I'm so grateful for that. What is it about my event particularly, I guess, but that has inspired you, that really got you motivated to make shifts and changes in your life?
One of the things that really inspired me about your event is really kind of the confidence that you just gave everybody when you talked about handling things that go wrong, handling forgetting your place, having people around you, understanding that they're there because they want to see you succeed. What it did was it really took a lot of the fear away from producing an event, and it took a lot of the pressure off for producing an event, because it doesn't have to be perfect to be effective.
No,
And
you're
really,
right.
if it's too perfect, it's not going to be effective. And so that was a huge shift. And the way you all craft it, and the way your team rallies around you, and the way we are all hanging on every word, regardless, regardless of the issues, it's a testimony to your success and what you're doing in the lives of people.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. There was a point in there that was really important. Oh yeah, the technology piece. One of the
Mhm.
giant things I want everyone to get from this right now is that you don't need big tech to make a big impact and bake big money. Let's bake a big money cake together. That's it. Yeah, I'm a professional. Don't do this at home. So just as an example right now I have a better camera than most. I upgraded my whole setup just to have a better camera. But this camera will not make me any more money. I'll just look a little bit better. And at my age, I got to work on that. So although I should probably have soft focus as opposed to deep focus, we should shift that around a little bit. But on a serious note, so I've upgraded the camera, which will, by the way, make you no more money. So keep the camera you've currently got until you start making money. I got a lot of people that were like, let's go shift our whole setup. Let's go buy this. No, don't, because no one cares. The most important thing is your sound, so people can hear you. Even if you're a bit fuzzy, you can still get your message out. And by the way, you don't need a multi-million-dollar set. JJ's got a great backdrop, and that's a physical backdrop. That's not digital, right? And I can tell because her lighting is so good. She raises her fingers. It's not web fingers like the creature from the Black Lagoon, like all the Zoom backgrounds, right? So that's beautiful. That's how we did my first event, JJ. Was I printed a backdrop just like you did, although with my logo, not yours. Just as an aside. But right now, I'm standing at my dining room table. This is very, 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 very expensive. And my dining room table, my kitchen's right back there. Hang on, I'll get it to focus. You'll see. There we go. And it should focus. Well, whatever, it didn't. But now I'm out of focus. There we go. Okay. got scared there for a second. So, and then when I do my big events, where what JJ's been attending, the camera switches 90 degrees, and there's a wall. That typically there's a wall in someone's house. So there's a wall with a picture and 2 palm trees. That's my set. Nothing fancy, no giant lights, no big spinning wheels and turning stuff around. It's turn the camera on and start talking. And that's so important. And I just left a 4+ hour program yesterday from one of my dear friends, and has also been one of my mentors. And it's all about using this technology to put you on the screen at the bottom over here, move you up to there, put the Zoom room on the screen with you. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but you're going to spend more time trying to figure out which button to push when you're presenting, as opposed to just doing your thing. So I try to tell people, as much as you want to do more, don't. Less is more. Being fun and engaging your audience and calling people out. And I got to kind of be careful when I say calling people out. People think it's a negative. I call on people. When I call them out, like I call them into, I should say calling people in. So when I see JJ laughing, like in the Zoom room, like JJ, so I do that all the time. Right? And when that happens, by the way, that's like the best form of engagement, because it's a one-on-one connection. And people, now here's the thing that happens. If I call on JJ, right now, the person that is, so you're I'm going to just say you're in rural Texas, you're in RT, and so she's in Texas. I got somebody that's maybe in the next Zoom chicklet next to her, who may be in Illinois or in Toronto, for example, or in Hong Kong. So we get the world. We've got Denmark. We've got someone from South Africa coming to the next Pride, which is so cool. And I've been to a lot of these places, which is really fun. But anyway, I call on JJ. Well, the person that's in Tokyo is paying attention, because she's like, uh-oh, he may call on me next. I better pay attention. So even if you call on one person, everyone's watching to go, what's going to happen here? And am I going to be next? Uh-oh. That's incredible engagement. So you never have to be boring when you call on people. So even the most dull presenters can still keep people wrapped up and engaged, because A, the content's interesting, and B, the audience engagement is there. So you don't have to be worried about that. And again, the audience is there because they want to be there. The content you have is going to change your lives. So kind of get over it and have fun with it. And that's the beautiful thing. But I do want to warn you, don't pretend to be an entertainer, because they don't want to be entertained. They want to be led. If you try to entertain, first of all, you may fall flat on your face, because you're trying rather than just doing. Be entertaining naturally. And a lot of you are incredibly funny. Ask your kids. A lot of you are really weird. Ask your family. They will tell you how weird you are. And by the way, I use that word. People are like, how could you say that? Because you are. I'm weird. Come on, look at me. So the uniqueness that we are, AKA your weirdness, is what we want to celebrate, because that's what people are buying. They're buying your uniqueness. If you're the same as everybody else, then who needs you? Right. But when you add your own complexion to it, JJ, you and I are both in similar types of programs that we've invested in, and we're choosing to be in a number of them that are the same, because I'll spin something differently than someone else will. And I find that fascinating. I was with a friend of mine yesterday for a lot of hours. And when I was even talking about technology and so on, and not overdoing it, he said the same thing. He said it differently in his way. I said it in my way. Now people are going to hear it differently.
Right.
So don't even be intimidated. Like, well, that program's already been done. Yeah. And I was at a program in Snowmass, Colorado, gosh, decades ago, I guess. I'm dating myself. And it was one of Harv Eckerd's events. It was wonderful. And on the stage for these multiple days were the leaders of personal growth. I mean, you had Jack Canfield, you had John, John Gray, Women from Mars and Venus, and so on. And I realized going through this whole day, they're going one after the other. Barbara DeAngelis was there. All these people were saying the same thing. They're all saying the same thing, but they all branded it differently. They all said it in a different way. They all had a different program and a product with their own uniqueness added to it. Because at the end of the day, aren't we just saying to people, just freaking be happy, help other people be happy too, create more prosperity in the world, get out of your own way. You are enough. We're all saying that. People come to my events, and hopefully they leave happier than when they started. Either they're happy that they left, or they're happier that they were there. So if you always happy, They're either happy when you walk into the room, or they're really happy when you leave the room. Either way, you want people to be happy, right?
Well, I want people to be happy for sure. I know we're running out on time. I want to be respectful of your time. We can take as much time as you want, but I also did tell you I was going to give you a heads up.
I appreciate that.
I would like for you to be. I don't know why I'm fuzzing out, but I would like for you
to
talk about pride, because you that would help us.
Now you froze.
And then, go ahead.
No, you were freezing, so I was going to jump in and try and it's all good. It may have been freezing on my end. Who knows? With the technology, you never know.
Between Australia and rural Texas, something's bound to happen.
Yeah, before I came down here, and I'm technically visiting, so we want to be mindful. And thank you, Australia, for having me, as it were. Before I got down here, and years ago, Australia was known for having like among the worst internet ever, because it was like one tube that came here. We had better internet in Thailand when I was living in Bangkok. But sure, let me talk to you a little bit about Pride and give you the invitation to come join us, because Pride is a 3-day, I'll call it an extravaganza, but it is a wonderful journey about how you can, first of all, get clear on why you're doing this in the first place. So you'll craft your winning offer. You'll craft your, what I call, premium value offer. People call them high ticket offers. I want to focus on your premium value that you give to your audience. And then we'll talk about how you price it, because most people underprice and lose multiple thousands of dollars because they don't value who they are. So we dive into that. It's super duper important, because at the end of the day, it's a mind game. Once you believe in you, you can do anything. And that's so important. I'll say this now in advance, because, and I'll say it again and again, you got to have a conviction that what you have to offer is so good that if people say no to you, you believe that they need counseling, that they need help. They're clinically, something's wrong with them. You got to have that level of confidence in what you do, because when you do, and when you're certain about that, you will attract people to you. You never have to sell anything, because people want to drink your Kool-Aid. And that's the beautiful thing. So we dive into that hot and heavy on day one. And then we go into, how do you actually fill your event? How do you attract people to say yes to come, like what we're doing right now? How do you promote your event? Then when they say yes, how do you get them to show up, which is critical. And today, when I make the invitation and to come join us, you will get access to that secret weapon that we use that JJ knows so well. And then, so I get them to show up. Then what do you do when they're there? How do you craft the actual event? And we call it the Pride inversion model, but I also call it the digital dance. How do you design that whole structure so that people will ultimately come to the conclusion that you are the answer that they want, that they've been looking for? That's super important. So we do that over 3 incredible days, which is a model that has worked forever. And so you'll see it. And the wonderful thing is that while I teach it, we then pull that curtain, which is what JJ was mentioning earlier. So we unpack the whole thing. We unpack the entire thing. And that's the most fun that I have, is because like I can teach it and go, now, what did I just do? Why did I just call on JJ? Because she's gorgeous and I want to talk to her. And I knew that it would engage Sally over there, because she wasn't paying attention. All of a sudden, and then Sally just got called in, right? So I get to teach. It's so much fun. So Pride originally, when I first, I don't know if you know this, JJ, when I first actually started teaching this stuff, which was, I think it was like 8 or 9 years ago, it was called the Online Event Success Formula, and it sold for $5,000. And it was kind of one just giant regurgitation of everything I knew. It was great content, but it was delivered really bad. It was like, oh my God, what was I thinking? But people hung in there and they got a lot of value from it. Then I turned it into Pride, the Pride experience, and that sold out a couple of years ago for $2,000. Now I'm pretty much giving it away. It's been sold for a variety of different things, but if you go to my website right now, you can come in for $2,000. It's still available at $2,000, and some people pay it. But because we love each other, you guys get to come as my guest, as JJ's guest to Pride. When you use the link that you've been seeing on the screen, go there now, which is jjclick.com/pride. And wherever you post this, JJ, it'll be posted too, so you can click wherever that is. You'll get to a page and you'll get an invitation to Pride for free. Yes, that's my favorite 4-letter word. It's free and food. All those F words, my favorite. Free food, and chocolate's too long, but another one of those favorites. There is one little catch. And the catch is that there is a materials fee involved in Pride. I cannot send you the materials on me, as much as I love to do that. Unless you have some skin in the game, the likelihood is A, you wouldn't show up, and B, you wouldn't really appreciate what's about to happen. So cover the materials, which is $49 if you're in the US, including rural Texas. So that's covered as well. If you're outside of the US, I'm just loving this. If you're outside the US, there's a slight shipping charge to cover the additional cost for that, which is not my doing. But it's called our signature swag, and we are known for it. It is also the secret weapon of how you will get people to show up for your events. So if you cover that, and do that now, by the way, because we got to get it sent out to you, and it gets shipped from Utah, custom done, by the way, then that's it. Come for that. So cover the cost of the swag. If you want to upgrade to our VIP experience, I recommend that. You don't have to. You probably will, because most people do. Yeah, I mean, VIP gives, you'll see the opportunity there, but VIP gives you an extra session with me on the first 2 days that people say is massive value. We also have our interview-thon, which is a pretty fun experience, isn't it, JJ?
It is.
I love that. I love that event, and that's huge as well. So there's a lot of benefit there, but for the bottom line is come, because even if you're not that serious about events just yet, the transformation of recognizing how you can get your message out, how you can craft that 5-figure offer, maybe even a 6-figure offer, and get it sold in a way that is not creepy, not uncomfortable, and is fun to do. That alone, I got people that are actually in my high-end Safari program that aren't even doing events. They just want to get their business dialed in, and it just seems to happen that way. Wasn't my intention. Wasn't my intention, believe me. But okay, so that's the name of the game, because my job is to take you from where you are, find out where you want to be, and get you there. And sometimes it takes a little bit of a push, and you've seen me do it too. As nice as I am, right, or as nice as I'm behaving right now, you got to consider, right? And I'm behaving. My passion is getting you where you want to be. And if I see you in your own way, I have a couple choices. I can be, oh, that's nice, bless your heart, or I can be like, let's go. And I'm not the bless your heart kind of guy. I'm consider me to be like your Olympic coach. And if it's going to take that little bit to get you to the gold, I'm going to kick your butt from here to rural Texas to get you there. Because life's too short. And as we age, I think we get to a point where we're less likely to tolerate the stories, the BS, the explanations. I don't care about the explanation. I don't care why 13 years ago something happened. It doesn't matter today. That was 13 years ago. What matters is, where do you want to be now? And that's what my objective is to get you there. And we'll just terminate all the old stories and all the old language and give you some new muscle. Hang on, to get it in the frame. Give you some new muscle so that to get right there. You go. We should do that. We should have an exercise where we do that during Pride. But that's the idea. It will help you develop some new muscle and some additional resiliency. Hillary Clinton has a program on Masterclass where she talks about resiliency. And who on earth knows a little bit more about resiliency than Hillary? Maybe me. And it comes with wisdom. It comes with the wisdom of the ages. But it does. The more confident you have. When I first started speaking, people ask me all the time, you can just get up and talk on anything. I'm like, yeah, but when I started 40 years ago, I was an embarrassment. It was not that great. It comes with practice. So the good news is, you can either go back and try and do this on your own, or you can kind of, jump onto the bandwagon and save the time, the energy, and the effort, and learn how to do this in a way that is fun and really not painful. I'm not going to hurt anybody. No one gets hurt during my event at all. We cheer you on because we want you to be successful. So I tease about it, but the idea is that we're all here. And I mean, I had a session yesterday with some people, and one person was stuck, and everyone was like, "Come on, you can do this. Come on, you can." And it was like, and I had one person, "Let me at her." I was like, "Okay," and it was awesome. It was awesome, and this person felt totally loved, because we're all just kind of glomming on. Because here's the thing: and this is the beauty about an event, you have the group dynamic where people are there to hold each other up. And that's awesome because, when you bring something to the table, when you ask a question or you make a comment or whatever, it adds value to the whole thing. And you may ask a question, JJ, that the person that is in Idaho never thought to ask. And oh my God, that's exactly what I need right now. That's the beauty. One-on-one is great, but it's also not scalable. So that's why I'm such a giant believer in events. By the way, you notice unless you stop me, I'll go for another 3 days.
I'm just gonna take it. I'm gonna take it all. I'm like, I can turn this into a podcast episode. He's all right.
There's plenty of sound bites we can recycle in this thing, which is another lesson, by the way. Everything we do is a lesson. And so if you can do an interview like this and you can get someone that you respect in an interview like this, yeah, you can take sound bites for 30 seconds per minute, pop them in YouTube, put them in an Instagram story, and all this, pop them in, different pieces of it. We're doing the same thing. I had my Opportunity-thon event was a world record setting event, we believe, 28 and a half hours, 55 speakers. Yeah, it was insane. I hosted the whole 28 and a half hours, except for 2 45-minute segments. So you could watch, as you watch the recordings, my energy's going, I am just crashing and burning, delirious. In fact, I realized when it was over, I'd never even had a segment of my own. I was just hosting. I'd never even got interviewed. Brilliant. Shoemaker on the shoes, but of all that content, there are so many clips. We pulled out nearly 300 clips that we're now putting up on YouTube that we can use and repurpose. One of the things that for those of you that come with Pride and Upgraded VIP, you'll get your own clip when I interview you during Interview-thon that you get to use anywhere. So you make a super good point. There's so much that you can take and use and repurpose, not just from the live that we're doing right now, but to pop in elements of this in any type of marketing. And you can use this just for you. It's not even just promoting Pride, which yes, come to Pride for goodness sakes, but also JJ can be like, JJ's interviews and have a series that she now sells in a membership of I got this person on stage.
Y'all heard that? Ken just said I can sell this.
Yeah. Wait, and the royalties won't be so bad. You know what? Here's the thing. You can sell this all day long, JJ. As long as they got a link to come and join Pride, I am thrilled and happy.
Right. That's
thrilled. Right. Back in the day when people would be like, don't send my ebook, don't share my ebook, share my ebook, steal my ebook. You know why? Because all the links in that thing go back to me. So share that sucker. Share that sucker. Because you are building my business and building my brand. Share that sucker with that link. I am happy all day long. And that's a prosperity piece, people will all get wrapped up in, oh my God, no, because the more your message is out there, the more you're sharing that, the more it's going to come back to you. And so I love doing this sort of stuff. This is my joy, because it really is about how can we get you to where you want to be. So, and what's your
prosperity lesson in and of itself right there.
Yeah. And wait, before we go, what is your biggest passion? I love when you do that. It goes great. What is driving you? What's your biggest passion?
My biggest passion is to see people empowered to win with money. And my goal is to have more women have the life that I have, which is the financial independence to do what I want to do with my family, do what I want to do in the community, be set free from toxic work environments and toxic relationships. All of that comes down to having financial independence. And so that's my passion. Helping others live the dream.
Yeah, clearly.
And you're one of the people that I know help others live the dream.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, and that's why we're here, because that energy attracts that energy. Like energy attracts like energy. So, we started this thing 6:30 in the morning. My time is when this whole thing was taking place, and that meant my being up at like 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning to be sure that I was up and showered and ready to go to be there to serve you. And when you're doing so globally, there is an element of inconvenience. It was my pleasure, but that's the point. It's because this woman is intoxicating. And you're here, you're watching this thing right now, clearly. Okay. She can be completely addicting. I love this woman, and I would do any kind. Even if I don't usually want to do things at 4 a.m., but if she asked me, I'd be like, really? But I would do it. Because it would be fun. She'd mess up my entire energy for the next day. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. But I got JJ'd. That's the thing. When you bring yourself, your whole self to the game, to the party, people want to be part of it. They want that drug that is you. So I could go on forever, but I tell you what, if you want more, then
Mm-hmm.
there was a link on that screen. Use that link, jjclick.com/pride, and spend 3 days with me. And you may even see JJ there for some parts of it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, we do have people that are kind of energized addicts, and it's fun. We welcome them back. We welcome our alumni back because it's fun. And I'll tell you, when you're doing an event, when people see you having fun, as I see you having fun, I don't want to leave on any part of it. I mean, unfortunately, I've got another appointment, so I got to go. But I'm like, bring the next person in because I'm having a good time. That's when you know you're winning, and you're doing a fabulous job, JJ. And I'm grateful for you to even consider inviting me to be with you. That means a lot to me. So I want to acknowledge that, and I want to tell you, listener, viewer, watching, you are so lucky to have her in your life. So stick with this kid. Stick with this kid. I can say that I'm a little bit senior. Stick with this young lady because she's awesome. The worst thing about being old now or older, it's like you can say, I know, go watch it, young man. I'm like, oh shit, I really say that? It's horrible. it's horrible.
Well, Ken, you will see me at Pride, and I hope that others will join me. Even if you've come with me before to Pride, I encourage you to click the link, jjclink.com/pride. Click the link and come back again. Every time I've gone, I have learned more and more and more. And even when some of the content is the same, you're coming at it from a higher level. You're coming at it with more experience. You're coming at it with more attempts at trying to do your own thing. You're coming at it from a different level, and you're going to see things from a different perspective. So join me again at Pride, and you can follow the link down there, jjclink.com/pride. Now, we are a little bit out of time for questions, but if you have questions, bring them to Pride. All right. How's that? And you can go right down here at this link, and you can get access right now, temporary till the seats fill up at no charge, just that little materials fee. All right. Ken, would you have any last words?
I love you. Thank you. We talked about doing just a few minutes. We're at 36 or so minutes right now, and it felt like we just said hello. Just like it, when you are in a place where you're having so much fun, time really doesn't matter. I was on a call the other day. It was a 15-minute phone call, and it went nearly 2 hours just because. And that's the beautiful thing about living in your greatness and living in your space and being with cool people that are fun. Trust me, if this wasn't fun, we would have been done 15 minutes ago. But yeah. I'm just love hanging out with you. Yeah. So which is why I'm telling your audience, you guys are so lucky to hang out with this chick. She's awesome. All right. So pop in the chat. I love you, JJ. Right. I mean, do it. I'm serious. Do it. I love you, JJ. Okay. Because I can't see any of the comments, but or you can even do JJ Rocks if you want. But either way, those are like mandatory things. JJ Rocks, I love you, JJ. Either way, and let her know, okay? Because look, she needs encouragement. You see that? I mean, she needs encouragement. So,
all right, well, we're gonna wrap it up again.
I love you. Thank you.
Link.com/pride. Bye, Ken. Thank you so much.
Yeah.